with another chapter of Meeting of the Minds by LizzeXX. We are on chapter 3, which is the second part of the Christmas Invasion. So, if you want to follow along to the chapter, the link to both archive and fanfiction are in the description below. As always, for you to pick and choose, doesn't really matter, except archive sometimes has pictures at the end of chapters. So, let's just get right into this with chapter 3, the Christmas Invasion. Placing blame. What's wrong? Rose cried, kneeling down beside the doctor with the others. You woke him too soon, Angel answered as the doctor panted. He's still regenerating. He nodded. I'm bursting with energy. He opened his mouth and a small burst of orange regeneration energy escaped. You see, the pilot fish could smell it, a million miles away. So they eliminate the defense, that's you lot, and they carry me off. They could run their batteries on me for a couple of years. He jolted forward with a groan, Angel still at his side, half being taken with him as he had yet to let go of her hand. Oh, Jackie gasped. Oh, my head, he moaned through gritted teeth. His knuckles nearly wiped as they gripped Angel's hand, refusing to let go. Jackie knelt before him, helping the girl hold him up. I'm having a neuron implosion. What do you need? Jackie cut in, worried. Say it, tell me. I need painkillers? Do you need aspirin? Codeine, paracetamol, I don't know, Pepto-Bismol. I need liquid paraffin, vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin E. Is it food? Something simple. A bowl of soup. A nice bowl of soup. Soup and a sandwich. Soup and a little ham sandwich. I need you to shut up, he shouted. Oh, he hasn't changed that much, has he? Angel, despite the situation, had to giggle a bit at that. I like her. She sounds like you, she remarked to the doctor, rambling, not letting someone else get a word in, but still trying to help. That was so the doctor. This Jackie was so different from the one they met in the past, but she supposed the circumstances that shaped the one before her were much different. She lost her husband, a man she loved, and had to raise her daughter by herself. She'd had to mature and face the world and grow stronger as a result. She was remarkable. She could see where Rose got it from. She doesn't sound a thing like, he began, almost offended, before he jolted forward again, leaning against the wall of the building. We haven't got much time. If there's pilot fish, then... He pulled an apple out of his pocket. Why is there an apple in my pocket dressing gown? Oh, that's how it's... Sorry, Jackie smiled. He keeps apples in his dressing gown? He gets hungry. What, he gets hungry in his sleep? Sometimes. Will you give it a second chance? Angel asked, out of nowhere. What? He looked at her, utterly confused. I don't know. She shook her head, too tired to try and make sense of it. Oh, what did you... He began, sensing that this was one of her feelings on something, but he suddenly collapsed to the ground, grimacing in pain. Brain collapsing! He grabbed Angel's arm, struggling to speak, needing to warn her, needing her to know what was happening. He needed her to be safe. The pilot fish mean that something's coming, Angel finished for him. He nodded for only a moment before falling into her lap in a faint. Angel knelt beside the doctor on his bed, quietly whispering to him as she wiped his brow with a cloth, as Rose stood at the foot of the bed, watching her with a cold look on her face. Mickey passed the room holding a laptop, glancing at Rose before nodding towards the sitting room. Rose cast one more glance at Angel before turning and joining Mickey. He put his laptop on the table and opened it. Jackie, I'm using the phone line. Is that alright? Yeah, Jackie said, cleaning up. Keep account of it. It's midnight, Christmas Day. She looked when Rose stepped in. Any change? He's worse, Rose replied. Angel said just the one heart is beating now. Jackie sighed and sat in a chair watching the TV. Scientists in charge of Britain's mission to Mars have re-established contact with the Guinevere 1 space probe, a news report began on TV. They're expecting the first transmission from the planet's surface in the next few minutes. Yes, we are, a scientist replied at a press conference. The same man who had been with Harriet before. We're back on schedule. We received the signal from Guinevere 1. The Mars landing would seem to be an unqualified success. But is it true that you completely lost contact earlier tonight? A member of the audience asked. Yes, we had a bit of a scare, he nodded. Guinevere seemed to fall off the scope, but it It was just a blip. Only disappeared for a few seconds. She's fine now. Absolutely fine. We're getting the first pictures transmitted live any minute now. I'd better get back to it, thanks. Here we go. Pilot fish. Mickey brought up a page on his computer as Rose came to look on. Scavengers, like the doctor said. Harmless. They're tiny. But the point is, the little fish swim alongside the big fish. Do you mean like sharks? Rose shook her head. Great big sharks. So what the doctor means is, we have them. Now we get that. Rose watched as the animation of a shark snap viciously on the screen. Something is coming. How close? There's no way of telling, but the pilot fish don't swim far from their daddy. So it's close. Funny sort of rocks, Jackie commented, looking at a distorted image on the screen. It's not rocks, Angel said. They looked over to see her standing in the doorway, the teacup that Jackie had brought her now empty in her hand as it had been knocked over in the scuffle with the tree, looking at the TV where the image slowly cleared. Coming alive from the depths of space on Christmas morning, the news report continued. The image cleared to reveal an alien face roaring at them. The face of an alien life form was transmitted live tonight on BBC One, a BBC newsreader stated. On the 25th of December, the human race has been shown absolute proof that alien life exists, an American reporter said. These remarkable images have been relayed right across the world, another newsreader added. 3 cars drove through the gates to the Tower of London, pulling up outside it. The driver opened the door for the scientist in charge of the probe while a military black man stepped out of the building. This way, sir. He was led through the halls to the base of unit, extremely busy. Mr. Llewell, the general introduced him. Mr. Llewell, ma'am. Llewell approached Harriet Jones. Harriet Jones, she greeted, holding up her ID. Prime Minister. Oh, well, yes. I know who you are. I suppose I've ruined your Christmas. Never off duty. Now, we put out a cover story. Alex has been handling it. We've said it was a hoax. The man beside her with the earpiece in stated. Some sort of mask or prosthetics. Llewell nodded. Students hijacking the signal. That sort of thing. Alex is my right-hand man. I'm not used to having a right-hand man. I quite like it, though. Quite like it myself. I don't suppose there's any chance it was a hoax, Llewell asked. That would be nice, she remarked. Then we could all go home. I don't suppose anyone's offered you a coffee? No, he shook his head. Harriet turned and poured him some. But no, the transmission was genuine, and this seems to be a new species of alien. She handed it to him. At least, not one we've encountered before. You seem to be talking about aliens as a matter of fact. There's an act of Parliament banning my autobiography. Prime Minister? The General stepped up. I'm with you. She followed him into a busy room. Miss Jacobs can explain. He motioned to a blonde woman at a computer who stood up to greet her. I don't think we've been introduced. Harry Jones, Prime Minister. Yes, I know who you are. She smiled. The transmission didn't come from the surface of Mars. Guinevere 1 was broadcasting from a point 5,000 miles above the planet. In other words, they've got a ship and the probe is on board, the General stated. But if they're not from the surface, then they might not be from Mars itself, Llewell reasoned. Maybe they're not actual Martians. Of course not. Martians look completely different. We think the ship was in flight when they just came across the probe. And they're moving, Jacob added. The ship's still in flight now. We got it on the Hubble array. Moving in which direction? Harry asked as the woman turned back to the computer. Towards us. How fast? Very fast. Harriet turned her gaze to the diagram showing the position of the ship to the Earth on the largest monitor. What was your name again? Sally. Thank you, Sally. Harriet replied, staring at the screen. Rose sat on the sofa when Mickey called her over to the laptop. Rose. She got up and perched on the edge of the huge chair. Take a look. I've got access to the military. They're tracking a spaceship. It's big, it's fast, and it's coming this way. He showed her the same image of the alien's position. Coming for what, though? Rose frowned. The doctor? I don't know. Maybe it's coming for all of us. The image of the 4 aliens came onto the screen, speaking their language completely untranslated. Have you seen them before? Rose shook her head. No. The aliens continued to speak, Unit watching them intently. Translation software, the general called. Yes, sir. Alex got to work. I don't understand what they're saying. Rose frowned, frustrated. The TARDIS translates alien language inside my head all the time, wherever I am. So why isn't it doing it now? Mickey asked. I don't know, she whispered, upset. Must be the doctor. Like, he's part of the circuit and he's broken. The TARDIS shares a psychic bond with its pilot, Angel's voice said. They looked up to see us standing behind them in the doorway. He's weak, so it's weak. What are you doing out here? Rose asked her. Rather rudely, Mickey had to describe it. Getting tea? She replied, taking a step into the room, about to head into the kitchen where she saw Jackie puttering around. The tea kettle just recently whistled. So you're just going to make tea while the doctor dies? Rose scoffed, glaring at her. He's not dying, Rose. He just needs a bit of tea, and he doesn't need tea. These aliens, Mickey cut in, trying to defuse the situation, knowing how Rose could be when she was upset about something. He seen it himself when she thought the Doctor and Angel were in danger with the Daleks. She tended to shout in her frustrations and lash out at people who were just trying to help her. Do you know what they're saying? Can you translate? She nodded hesitantly. She hadn't exactly excelled at alien languages, but she could understand them if she needed to. Yeah? We don't need your help. Rose nearly spat at her. Rose, why are you so cross with me? Angel finally asked. She'd been dealing with Rose's attitude and looks all night, and frankly, she was just too tired. Physically from taking in the heart of the TARDIS, and emotionally from dealing with the Doctor's sudden regeneration, to try and work out for herself why the human was acting the way she was. And honestly, she probably wouldn't be able to work it out anyway. Humans confused her. Because this is all your fault, Rose shouted, standing up to face the girl. If you hadn't used the vortex, made me put it in that necklace thing for you, the doctor would be awake. He'd be himself. He's lying in there, helpless, and all because of you. You did this to him, and you made me help you. That was the one thing she was really upset about. If she had known that this would happen, she never would have done what Angel's hologram had asked her to do. She would have figured something else out. Now it was partially her fault what had happened to the doctor, and she didn't like that at all. She didn't want to think that she could have had a hand in the doctor's death. She had trusted Angel to save him, and she failed. It's your fault! Vicky looked at Angel as she stood there before the irate blonde, tears in her eyes. Alright then. She swallowed hard. I'll just go look after the doctor. She turned and left, not even bothering to shout back at Rose to defend herself, because as far as she was concerned, it really was her fault. She'd been blaming herself the entire time, and as she now realized, so had everyone else. She sat in the doctor's room, just holding his hand, wiping his brow for a few moments, when Mickey edged slightly, the laptop tucked under his arm. He gave her a small smile and moved to sit at the foot of the bed. Don't mind Rose, he told her quietly, setting his laptop up again. He'd been on the receiving end of her anger a few times in the past. She's just upset. She's right, Angel said, her voice cracking. No, she isn't. Mickey shook his head. She is, Angel insisted. You weren't that, Mickey. You don't know what happened. So tell me, he said softly. What did happen? She looked over at him and back at the doctor, squeezing the man's hand. When Margaret was here, she set up a trap in the TARDIS. The heartless eyes opened to stop her. I was right next to it, and I felt it. I felt the power that was inside it, and she shook her head. I had this terrible feeling the heartless TARDIS would destroy someone. I was afraid it'd be Rose with the doctor. I just knew it would be them, so I tried to avoid it. I tried to change it. I made it so that I would take the power of the vortex instead of either of them. I thought maybe it would save them that way, but the doctor pulled it out of me anyway. He died, regenerated. Vicky nodded slightly, absorbing what he said. fitting the pieces together. So you were just trying to stop it from happening. She nodded. The doctor jokes that I'm psychic, but I didn't know it would happen anyway. Honestly, I didn't. Well, even psychics can't see everything. Mickey nudged her. Otherwise they'd be winning the lottery every week, eh? He smiled as that got her to laugh a bit. You've got to laugh with you. Well, I suppose it's time old error, huh? He reached out and put a hand on her shoulder, getting her to look at him. You were just trying to help. And that's something the doctor would never blame you for. So don't go blame yourself either, okay? He asked, and she nodded. Good. He leaned back. Rose will calm down and she'll apologize. She's just worried. Angel frowned. Worried? From what she'd seen, he was never quite as angry as Rose was when they were worried. He nodded. I've seen her and her mum. Instead of showing they're worried, they tend to just get angry. Angel blinked and nodded slowly. Yes, humans definitely confused her. She glanced back at Mickey, offering him a little smile. Thanks, Mickey. He grinned. No problem. And then she noticed the laptop. Still want me to translate? If you want. He's coming there to try and cheer her up a bit. Distract her, include her. She made her feel like a part of the group back when they stopped in with Jack. The least he could do was return the favour, and it seemed like it was working. She nodded, and he passed the laptop to her. She listened a moment as the alien spoke. People, you belong to us, she said. To the LizzeXX. We own you. We now possess your land, your minerals, your precious stones. You will surrender or they will die? LizzeXX strong, LizzeXX mighty, LizzeXX rock? Mickey frowned. What do they mean, they will die? Angel could only shake her head, handing Mickey back the laptop as she leaned forward to rest her head in her hands. Mickey watched her sadly. He could only imagine what the girl was going through, fearing for the doctor, dealing with Rose, and now having Liz piled on. He set the laptop aside and scooted over to sit beside her, rubbing her back in comfort, offering her his human strength, but also telling her she wasn't in it alone despite how she might think so because of Rose. I'm getting demands from Washington, man, the general stated as Harriet walked up to him. The president's insisting that he take control of the situation. You could tell the president, and please use these exact words. He's not my boss, and he's certainly not planning us to war, Harriet replied, turning to Alex. What we got? Nothing yet, he replied. Translating alien language is going to take time. How far off is the ship? The general asked. About 5 hours, Alex replied. Harriet looked up at the screen, showing the ship coming towards the Earth. Despite claims of an alien hoax, it's been reported that no forces are on red alert, an American newsreader said on the TV. Speaking strictly off the record, government sources are calling this our longest night, another one reported. The general sat in a chair, deep in thought when Harriet approached him. I don't suppose we've had a code 9. No sign of the doctor? Nothing yet. He stood, watching her close her eyes in disappointment. You've served, haven't you? She nodded. More like the stuff of legend. He is that. Failing him, she looked him in the eye. What about Torchwood? His eyes widened in shock. I know I'm not supposed to know about it. I realize that. Not even the United Nations knows. But if ever there was a need for Torchwood, it's now. I can't take responsibility. I can, she replied grimly. See to it. Get them ready. He nodded and left as Alex approached with the laptop. Prime Minister, does it work? Just about? He nodded, placing it down on his desk as the well and Sally joined. People, that could be cattle. You belong to us, to the LizzeXX. They seem to be called LizzeXX, not Martians. We own you. We now possess your land, your minerals, your precious stones. You will surrender or they will die. LizzeXX strong, LizzeXX mighty, LizzeXX rock. As in the modern sense, they rock. They will die, the world muttered. Not you will die. They will die? Who's they? I don't know, but it is the right personal pronoun. It's they. Send them our reply, Harriet ordered. Tell them this is a day of peace on planet Earth. Tell them we extend that peace to the LizzeXX. And Alex nodded, taking notes. And then tell them this planet is armed and we do not surrender. Sally nodded, the three leaving her. Come on. Jackie sat soundly at the doctor's side, having joined Angel a short while ago in keeping watch over him, especially after hearing Rose shouting at the poor girl. Rose watched her, leaning against the door frame as Mickey stood beside her. The doctor wouldn't do this, she said, her voice shaking. The old doctor, the proper doctor. He'd wake up. He'd save us. He can't wake up, a voice said behind them. They turned around to see Angel standing there with a cup of tea. He's in a healing coma. If he wakes up again before he's ready, his heart will give out. What's with the tea? Mickey asked, eyeing the cup. It's for the doctor. Rose just rolled her eyes and snatched the cup away. God, it's just like my mother, and strode off back to the kitchen to dump it. Angel sighed before going to sit back down at the doctor's bedside, resigned. Daylight broke as the unit continued working hard. They've got the message, Sally called. Here comes the response. They looked up at the little screen where an image of the cigarette was being transmitted. The leader simply holding out his hand, a blue light around it. What was that? Harry asked. Was that a reply? I don't know. Alex shook his head. It looked like some sort of energy or static. Almost like someone casting a spell, Llewellyn remarked. None of them noticing the same length surrounding Sally's head and a few others. Maybe it's a different form of language, some sort of ideogram or pictogram. Suddenly, the members of the unit affected by the light turned and began to march from the room as though in a trance. And that's the end of chapter 3, so I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, go leave a review, comment, kudos, all that. We are done here, but before you go, be sure to subscribe. I upload new videos every Friday and Saturday. Now, go, show the office love, and I'll see you guys next Friday with a new video.